Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Legendary coach offers Coco Gauff to fix her serve issue. Says it'll lead to 10 slams. Rick Matchy is offering help to Coco Gauff as Serena Williams' former childhood coach believes he and a biomechanics coach could fix the 21-year-old serving issue and make her a double-digit Grand Slam champion. In the past 2 years, Gauff has won as many slams. However, one thing remains an issue. That's the American's inconsistent serve and double fault number, which stands at 320 through 14 events played in 2025. Matchy, who is widely credited for the early development of the Williams sisters, is a big fan of Gauff and backed her to do some great stuff even she wasn't doing well in early 2023. But the 70-year-old coach has also been adamant for quite some time that the current world number 2 needs to do something with her serve. Matchy offers to help Gauff fix her serve, says it will lead to 10 to 12 Grand Slam trophies. Not that you couldn't have a good first serve and a shaky second. Plus, her racket on her serve. The leg drive doesn't initiate the racket at the right time, but keeping her weight back longer with the platform and starting brand new. There's no doubt that, with myself and Dr. Gordon, an expert in biomechanics, this could be solved immediately, the American coach told Tennis 365. In the same interview, Matchy remarked that if Gauff was able to win 2 Grand Slams with such serving issue, you can only imagine what would happen if she lowered her double fault number and started delivering more quality serves. But to be great, it's a package, and if this serve could be modified, I have no doubt where she could end up. Double digits, Grand Slams, is around the corner for Coco, Matchy added. Meanwhile, the American tennis star exited the Cincinnati Open following a 6-2, 4-6, 3-6 loss to Jasmine Paolini. During the match, the second-seeded home player sprayed 16 double faults. The buzz had barely died down from Coco Gauff's latest quarterfinal loss when tennis fans across the globe were jolted by a headline that lit up social media like a flare. Legendary coach offers to fix Gauff's serve, says it'll lead to 10 Grand Slams. It wasn't just the claim, it was the source. Richard the Architect Varnes, the elusive maestro behind some of the greatest names in tennis history, had broken his silence. The man credited with reviving Serena's footwork in 2012, fine-tuning Federer's backhand in secret sessions before Wimbledon 2017, and mentoring 3 number 1 ranked juniors to the pro circuit, had spoken publicly for the first time in over 5 years. And he was talking about Coco Gauff. I see a storm waiting to be sharpened into lightning. Richard Varnes, interview with the Tennis Herald. Gauff, still just 21, had become a paradox. The reigning U.S. Open champion, an athletic marvel with the movement of a dancer and the fight of a warrior. She was already a star, but her serve, once a weapon, had evolved into a liability. Double faults in key moments, hesitation in the toss, inconsistency in rhythm. Analysts debated mechanics. Fans pointed fingers. Coaches tweaked grips and rituals. But the serve remained stubborn, a crack in her otherwise armor-plated game. Varnes believed he had the answer. In his rare interview, he spoke not in jargon, but in metaphor. She's got a Ferrari with 1 flat tire, he said. Fix that tire, and she'll win 10 slams. Not maybe. Will. Chapter 1, The Letter. Coco sat in her Miami apartment, the city skyline bleeding orange and purple through the windows. Her phone buzzed, a message from her agent. You're not going to believe this. Varnes wrote you a letter. Handwritten. Like actual ink. She blinked. Attached was a scan of a letter in flowing cursive. The tone was warm, but precise. Dear Coco, I do not approach lightly. I've watched you from afar, not as a critic, but as an architect watches a skyscraper rising slightly off balance. Your game is 95% flawless. But your serve, it is not yours yet. It controls you, not the other way around. I can help. Not just to tweak, but to rebuild. If you trust me with 6 weeks, I will give you the foundation for 10 slam titles. Come to Athens. No media. No entourage. Just tennis. The invitation is yours. Varnes. Athens. Like Greece? She laughed. Part disbelief. Part intrigue. Her coach, Diego, wasn't thrilled. "We've got training mapped through fall," he reminded her. "You're ranked number 3. You just made the semis at Roland Garros." "I know," she said. "But what if he's right?" 6 days later, she was on a plane to Greece. Chapter 2, Rebirth at Sunrise. The Varnes compound wasn't a tennis academy. It was more like a monastery for movement, hidden in the hills above the Aegean, with one clay court carved into ancient stone. There were no ball machines, no sponsors, just a silence so complete it made her hyper-aware of every breath, every step. Varnes was waiting at dawn. Tall, white beard, eyes that seemed to pierce past mechanics and straight into fear. He greeted her with no racket in hand. "Leave the serve for now," he said. "We start with shadows." For the first 3 days, they didn't hit a single serve. They walked. They studied her foot placement in sand. They mimicked ancient Greek sprinters. They talked about pressure, what it does to muscle memory, how fear shows itself in routine. "Your toss wavers because your mind hesitates," Varnes said. "Your serve breaks down not from the wrist, but from the past." Then came the metronome. He made her serve with a ticking sound in her ear, designed to sync her motion to rhythm rather than thought. Every detail was recalibrated, from the angle of her toss to the height of her elbow during coil. Some drills were bizarre. She served blindfolded. She practiced tosses on a boat in rough waters. She served in silence at midnight. It felt insane. But by week 4, something shifted. Her serve wasn't perfect, but it was hers. Reliable, repeatable, calm. Chapter 3, The Test. Varnes said, "Before you leave, one match. Not against another pro. Against him." He wore a back brace and a knee wrap, but his placement was vicious. He targeted her return with laser precision. He rushed her. He sliced. He made her serve 10 times in a row under mock match point pressure. At 4-4, she double faulted. The old panic flared. He walked to the net. "Again," he said. "But now, serve not for yourself. Serve for the version of you who never flinched at 15 years old in Wimbledon." She stared down the line. Toss. Coil. Crack. Ace. Chapter 4, The Return. When Coco returned to the tour, the serve wasn't flashy. It was quiet, confident, consistent. The critics didn't notice at first, but the players did. She held serve 92% of the time through the U.S. Open series. No double faults and 2 tiebreaks. Her first serve percentage? Up 8 points. By the time she lifted her second U.S. Open trophy, dispatching IGA Swiatek in straight sets, the whispers became roars. She was no longer just a contender. She was inevitable. Epilogue 10. The future came fast. 2025, U.S. Open, Australian Open. 2026, Wimbledon. 2027, Roland Garros, U.S. Open. 2028, Australian Open. 2029, Wimbledon, Roland Garros. 2030, U.S. Open. 2031, Australian Open. 10. Each slam different, each one earned. But through it all, the serve held firm. In her induction speech to the Hall of Fame in 2035, she mentioned him. "Richard Varnes didn't just fix my serve. He taught me that the serve is a mirror of the soul. You can't fake it. You can't force it. You can only own it." The crowd stood in ovation. Somewhere in the crowd, an old man with a cane nodded quietly, then disappeared into the Newport mist.